You guys, so I was just chilling at Kameshki. It's like the first time I've spawned at Kameshki for a while. And I was thinking like it would be really cool if I made like kind of an informational video about like what spawn points are the best in PUBG Mobile. So I think I'm gonna do exactly that. Just got a random spark of inspiration and I decided that I'm gonna do it. So let's open up the minimap and let's go over some areas. I'll start with the ones that are closest to me. Kameshki, I mean, there's some good loot. I mean, the loot isn't like insanely good, but there's some pretty good loot. So like, if you're feeling and like nobody ever spawns there. So if you're feeling pretty confident about your luck with the play zones, then it might be a really good place because there's a lot of good loot. Almost no one spawns there. You're pretty much going to be alone for the first couple minutes of the match if you spawn there. Only thing is, if you are very far outside the play zone and you don't find a vehicle, you are absolutely screwed because it's right at the corner of the map and you are not going to be able to run that far. Say if the play zone's over Primorsk, you're not going to be able to run that far before the play zone starts closing. So just take that advice with a grain of salt. Like, so it's good loot, but like only if you're feeling lucky. Next, Stalber. Stalber's actually like one of my favorite spawn points. I actually spawn here a lot when the plane comes this way. It's kind of like it's got these like really cool castle ruins around it. It's a really good spawn point. There's a lot of good loot, and the loot that there is like very spread out. So, and when the loot's very spread out, you are more likely to claim a lot of it than have all your teammates steal all the loot. Aside from that, like, there's not really too much that's notable about Stalber. It also has a shop at it, but Stalber and Kameshki both have shops, which is really weird. Seems like the last place you would put a shop, but they both have shops. And there's also a recall station very close to Stalber. So, it is a place that's worthwhile because there's a shop, there's good loot, the loot's pretty spread out, pretty good loot table, and you can recall your teammates if they die early on. So, aside from that, I kind of want to talk about some other notable places before I go over the, just the everyday ones that you like to see everyone spawning at. First off, I want to go over this area, way back there, because it's actually a very good place to spawn. There's like a port warehouse back there of sorts. And it's actually a really good place to spawn because it has really good loot. It's very secluded and nobody ever goes there. You're also basically guaranteed to find a boat. Like, I have not had a single match where I did not find a boat there. So, it's a pretty good place to go to, actually. And, another thing about that, the loot table is actually really good there. Like, you can find a lot of stuff. I found a ton of Glocks there. Like, the Glock actually spawns there a lot. And I've actually found, like, more than a couple flare guns there. Like, out of the, I think, like, 20 times, no, not 20, more like 15 times I've spawned there, there's been a flare gun there at least twice, maybe 3 times. So that's pretty good likeliness of getting a flare gun. Only 2 flare guns spawn per match, so finding it there, not once or even twice, but, like, I think it was 3 times. It's pretty notable. And that's not even a major thing. It doesn't even have, like, its own name or anything. It's not marked on the map. So that's a worthwhile place to go if you're feeling it. Only thing is, you basically have to get a boat because if you don't, the play zone is almost never over there, so that's just one thing to consider. Although, like I said, I have not played a single match where there hasn't been a boat over there. So your likeliness of getting a boat is very high. And then another one of my favorite spawn points is Novorepnoye. Novorepnoye is a very good spawn point. It's got a very dense loot table. It has a lot of good loot. And another thing is that, like, it's not only has good loot, but not a lot of people spawn there. It's got a shop, and it has a respawn point fairly close. It's right next to Sosnovka military base, so that's even more loot that you can get it potentially. It's pretty close to the bridge that leads over from the island. So if the play zone's not over there, you can always just hop over the bridge. And there's also usually a boat there, so if you want to get a boat, you can. Let's see, is there any other places where I like to spawn frequently? Primorsk is one of them. In fact, when I spawn back here, I usually go to Primorsk right after that. That is suboptimal. My guy, can you not see that I am moving away? Ski lift. Can snipe him with a deagle. Another cool thing about spawning at Stalber is you got these really cool ski lifts. So if the play zone isn't over Stalber, you can go down there. Another reason I like to spawn at Primorsk, with the recent update, there's a KFC there. KFCs have really good loot. And another thing is that there's actually a secret warehouse there. Like in one of the houses, there's a secret warehouse. And if you go in there with like a special key card that allows you to open it, there is a FAMAS, a level 3 military vest, Spetsnaz helmet, and a level 3 backpack. So you get the best assault rifle in the game, plus 90 rounds, the best backpack in the game, best helmet in the game, best vest in the game. And all you need is like a key card. So it's basically a crate that spawns in naturally. It's basically just a mini drop crate that it's like a mini airdrop that just spawns there in the house. So it's really cool. And let's see, any other notable places? Yasnaya Polyana and Pochinki and Georgopol, especially Georgopol. Especially like Georgopol and Yasnaya Polyana and Pochinki. I don't really like to spawn at those areas because like Pochinki isn't even the largest city on the map, but like everyone goes here. It's just like an absolute flood of people, and unless you're my good friend Max Terquito, who's like absolute John Wick, he just like absolutely like slams when he goes to Pochinki. He just goes there and then just starts wrecking people. But like, unless you're him, unless you're that guy, unless you are very confident that you are that guy, unless you are very confident that you are indeed that guy, you're not going to have much luck there. And most of us aren't that guy. Most of us can't be John Wick. But if you feel confident, then it's a good place to consider. Like, most people who go there, if you go there, you're either like a pretty big idiot or the exact opposite of one. Like, everyone who goes there is either a pretty big idiot or the exact opposite of one. So if you're the exact opposite of an idiot, I do highly recommend going there, because if you are an incredibly skilled player and you're very confident in your skills, then it's a very good place to get a lot of loot in a short period of time, and also a lot of kills in a short period of time. The school is another good place, although a lot of people spawn there, so once again, if you're like fairly confident in your abilities, I personally am not confident enough in my abilities in PUBG to spawn at Pochinki, but the school I'm pretty much fine with spawning there. Let's see. Oh, the shelter. The shelter is a really good place to spawn, and I'll tell you why. It's because nobody ever goes there, and if you are in there, you only have in any given room, you only have 2 places that you can get attacked from, which are really easy to survey. So it's very easy to set up an ambush, very easy to know when you're being ambushed, and very, very easy to get a lot of loot. There's like a ton of shotguns, there's some LMGs in there, there's sniper rifles in there, there's DMRs in there, there's everything in there. The place just has everything. And like nobody ever goes there. There's also a shop fairly close, and it's right in between two recall towers. Ha. So that's another really good place to go. And let's see. This little port-like thing right here is a pretty good place to go. This little settlement where there's a KFC is a really good place to go. I go to the shooting range sometimes, but it's just like all shotguns and nothing else. This, like, the area around here where there's like a couple of buildings is really good to go. Severny is a cool place to go to. This KFC, around this KFC has a lot of good loot. This port at Georgia Pole has a lot of good loot. Do not go in this areas of Georgia Pole. The loot is very concealed, and you are going to run into a lot of people. So I personally would not go there. Oh no, one is dead. I don't really go to the farm that often because there's just not that much there that's worth doing. Same with the prison, same with Milta. Sosnovka military base is pretty cool, especially this tower right here. Like, if you go to this tower, it's a really good place to snipe. And, bro, how did you die to an airstrike? Just go inside. You're in Pochinki, bro. Why didn't you just go into a Why don't you just, like, go into a house and wait it out, bro? And the recall tower is deactivated right after that, of course. But, like, I personally, I'm not, like, extremely experienced with this game. Like, I've played it a long time. I have, like, more than 300 battles. But I a lot of times die to, like, really stupid stuff, and I'm not, like, too experienced with everything. Like, I haven't explored the entire map. For some reason, I cannot get matches on any maps besides Erangel. So I don't really have any other information that I can provide. The only two other places that I really go to often are here and the quarry. Those are some good places to go to. I wouldn't really bother with the hospital or, like, any place like that, but that's just my opinion, personally. And, like, I will admit that there's a lot more people who are, like, way more skilled than me at this game. And I definitely, like, if you can get advice from them, I would take advice from them. Because, like, there are a lot of people who are much more skilled at this game, but I never claimed to be smart. I mean, like, I'm not going to be insanely humble, but, like, I will admit that I'm not the most experienced person on this game. Because, like, besides, like, even if you were the most experienced person on this game, like, how would you prove it? Like, community on this game is not very connected. So, like, how would you prove it if you were the most skilled person in this game? It doesn't, like, compare your stats with anyone else. And, like, I know you can get the titles, but, like, does that really even show anything? Anyway, I'm done contemplating, guys. That's just my objective opinion on the... that's just my subjective opinion on, like, what are the best spawn points in PUBG. I don't have the best opinions on this, but, like, I hope this will help some of you. It's what I'm trying to say. I suck at communicating. Anyway, bye, guys. I'll see you.